Welcome to this week's edition of the Seekonk Speedway Race Day Rewind, produced by Souza Media, where we recap all the weekend's racing as part of the 75th anniversary season of the Action Track of the East. Hello, party people. Welcome back to another edition of the Seekonk Speedway Race Day Rewind podcast. My name is Kyle Souza, the owner of Souza Media, but I think by now you know that and you are ready to hear about an exciting weekend of action at the third mile. Happy to be back here on the podcast platform to recap all of the racing. If you don't have time to listen to the whole edition today, come back, check it out. We've got a couple great interviews coming up here as part of this edition. And of course, you can check out our Facebook page and our website for all of the recap and results from last weekend, September 10th and 11th. But I'm going to run through our Fast Friday program and our NASCAR Saturday program, two very special nights at the track, especially NASCAR Saturday and everything that took place there. And then we're going to chat with two of our drivers from NASCAR Saturday. One of them a feature winner, and the other one's come close to winning in the Pro Stock division, but has not carried the checkered flag just yet. Meanwhile, we're only 2 weeks away from the end of the 2021 season, and that's extremely surprising at how quick this year's gone along with everything that we've had to deal with. Let's start, though, with our Fast Friday recap as part of the Race Day Rewind. Welcome back to another recap edition. Friday, September 10th on the docket for Fast Friday racing. Of course, down to the final couple weeks of the year, and we had another great night of action. Picture-perfect skies above. Looking forward to hopefully getting that again here over the last couple weeks. But Friday, July 10th, I said July 10th. I wish it was still September 10th. As part of our Fast Friday program, 5 different races in the Seekonk Grand Prix, Bandoleros Bandits and Outlaws, the Everett's Auto Parts Sport 4s, the Helgers South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks, and the Nick's Pit Stop Legends. So let's start with the Bandoleros Bandits, and for the first time in her Seekonk career, Melania Shawowski parks the number 99 in Everett's Auto Parts Victory Lane. Fantastic run by the driver of the pink and black machine. She had won down at the New London Waterford Speed Bowl a couple of times, had come close at Seekonk, but man, she was the one to beat on Friday night, taking down her first career checkered flag. Congratulations to her on her fantastic run. The Vaness cousins finished the podium. Colin Vaness was second straight race for him in the top 3, and the Bottle Rocket, they call him, Ryan Vaness Jr., with a nice solid third place finish. The story of this race, outside of those drivers and your winner, Shawowski, was Sam Macedo coming into the race looking for his 8th consecutive win. It did not happen. He was black flagged for rough riding during the race, had to go into the pit area early, so a tough break for him. The Green Hornet, again, looking for his 8th consecutive win, but the streak is broken by Shawowski, and points leader Darren Krantz Jr. did not finish either, only finished 10 laps in the race after a steering issue on his number 31. Now, Krantz had been leading the points early in the year. He won the first 3 races. He has not won since. Macedo had won 7 in a row, and Macedo had closed the gap to just a few points in the championship standings. However, as they run now, with Macedo backing out of the race early as well due to the black flag, Krantz leads Shawowski by just 12 points in the championship standings. Sam Macedo is third, 16 points back. There are 2 weekends of racing to go on Fast Friday, so those 3 drivers probably going to be the ones that decide the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandit Championship battle. In the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Outlaws, it was Richie Helger Jr. taking advantage of a strong car on that night in the Helger South Coast Power Equipment number 99, and Richie Helger Jr. carries the checkered flag for just the second time this year. A fantastic run for him, and it comes at prime time for the driver of the 99. Coming into the race, he was 10 points back in the championship chase, and this one, look at how it stacks him up, with Nick Chaber Jr. and Joey LeMay getting together late, and both of those cars ending up out of the race early. Richie Helger Jr.'s win gives him the points lead back with 2 weeks to go on Fast Friday. Great job by him to get back to the checkered flag. So Helger won it. Second place was Adam Harrison. They call him Hollywood. 3rd race in a row, he finished second. Great job by him. Stephen Bowden returned to the podium for the first time in a little bit, finishing in 3rd. Fantastic run for him as well. 4th place was Brent Robideau, and Chase Sylvia with another top 5 finish. Chase Sylvia is the son of Jimmy Pepe Sylvia, who races in our Sportsman division. So great run for the Bandolero Outlaws. I mentioned the points. Richie Helger leads Nick Chaber by 8 points, and Brent Robideau is 3rd, 18 points back with just 2 weeks to go. Interested to see how that one plays out. The Everett's Auto Parts Sport 4s also hit the track. First time out on the track this year for A.J. Manuel, a former champion in the red and white 88. And his first race ends with his first trophy of the year. 1 for 1. He's batting 1,000 so far. A.J. Manuel takes down the win over Dave Simpson Jr. Mikey Lafort was third, Sam Matera fourth, and Henry LaValle in fifth. Now, Crystal Murray had been leading the points coming into the race. However, she is off at school now across the country, so she is not with us anymore for the rest of the 2021 season. A very unfortunate situation for her as part of the points go. However, obviously a great situation for her in her education, so congratulations, and we wish the best of luck to her. But that's given the points lead to Mikey Lafort. In his third place finish, he extended that. He leads by 28 over Crystal. Again, Crystal not going to be with us the next 2 weeks either, so that's going to close the gap a little bit more. She'll fall back a little bit. Dave Simpson is going to be second. He is 34 back of Lafort, heading for the final 2 weeks, so we'll monitor to see what happens there. Pure stock action in the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks. Jordan Threlfall came across the track, the start-finish line first, picking up what we thought was his first career win in the white and blue, number 92. However, he did not pass post-race technical inspection, which is required of all drivers, and Joey Morissette finished second. So Joey, who did pass inspection, inherits his second victory of the year in the TTM Motorsports number 77 in the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks. Morissette, the big winner. Second place was Nick Brightman. Fantastic run for Nick Brightman. We've seen him all over the place in his first couple weeks. He's run strong, not so strong, spun out a few times. He's been everywhere you could imagine. Second place, great run for Nick Brightman. Jeremy Lambert returning to the podium for the first time in a great while in third, so a good run for him as well. Again, Morissette the winner. Point standing wise in the Pure Stocks, Greg Perry, former champion, leads by 22. That's 12 positions on the racetrack. Each position is 2 points, so it's Perry by 22 over Massa, and Joey Morissette is third, 28 back. Massa and Perry, good friends and teammates. Going to be interesting to see how those two shake out here in the final couple weeks, and Morissette is not far behind if something was to go wrong. And the only other race on Fast Friday, September 10th, was the Nick's Pit Stop Legend Car. Speaking of 10, on September 10th, Luke LeBrun pockets his 10th win in 12-point championship events. What a fantastic run for the driver of the number 88. He started last on the field, 22 cars, I believe it was. He used the outside lane for much of it and picks up his 10th points win in 12 races. That is his 11th win of the year in the Legends at Seekonk. We did have one non-points race as part of the Bay State Classic on a Wednesday in July. So LeBrun is 11 for 13 in the Legend Cars at Seekonk this year. Certainly very impressive for him. Reagan Parent was second, close to his first career Seekonk win. He was able to pick up his first career Legends win down at the Waterford Speed Bowl the next day. But second place for him at Seekonk. He's still looking for his first win at the Action Track of the East. Third was Reese Bogue. Fourth was Mason Tessier, and Josh Parsons finished out the top five. Points-wise in the Legends cars, it's all but sealed up. Luke LeBrun leads by 44 over Mason Tessier with 2 weeks to go. So there you have it. September the 10th, Melania Shawowski in the Bandolero Bandits, Richie Helger Jr. in the Bandolero Outlaws, A.J. Manuel in the Sport 4s, Joey Morissette in the Pure Stocks, and Luke LeBrun does it again in the Nick's Pit Stop Legends. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll transfer over to First Responders Night, Saturday night, September the 11th, honoring those lost at 9/11 20 years ago. It's also Scout Night at the track that night. Funny story about that. We'll catch up with you here around the break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Thanks for sticking with us around the break here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to NASCAR Saturday action that occurred on Saturday night, September the 11th. A kind of somber start to the night, remembering those lost in 9/11, first of all, but second of all, a great night overall as the 2021 season continues to wind down here. First Responders Night at the track, so we honored those lost on 9/11, 20 years to the day. We had the Seekonk Honor Guard come out, big thanks to them. The Seekonk Police, the Brewster Ambulance, the Seekonk Fire Department. Great ceremony on track before the race. Once the racing got underway, man, did we have one heck of a show. It was also Scout Night at the track, and I said there was a funny story there. So we had some scouts coming down as part of Scout Night. We expected 20 to 30, and I decided it was a great idea to give them a tour of the pit area, because why not? Well, 20 to 30 turned into about 100. So we had about 100 scouts walking around the pits. It was phenomenal in every single way. A big thanks to Amy Arsenal, NASCAR Chaz Auto Body Sport Truck driver and winner this year, for coming out. She's going to be the Rookie of the Year in the sport truck. She came out in a big way and helped me out to get the tour going. Took them into her truck, showed them around there, brought them on the track. Just thank you. Big thank you goes out to Amy for the help there, and fantastic to see all the scouts at the track. We had some of them in victory lane ceremonies. A great night. And when things like that happen, it really puts in perspective what a Saturday night at the track will mean. So, let's recap the action from NASCAR Saturday night, starting with the Chaz Auto Body Sport Trucks. 3 weeks to go, coming into these racing action events here, and for the first time this year in the Chaz Auto Body Sport Trucks, Brittany Campbell gets the job done behind the wheel of the number 8 truck. The Timmy Brown music entry is how I remember that truck. Brittany did a great job picking up her first win of the year. She's had a little bit of a tough year at times, getting used to a brand new truck this year, but man, has it paid off so well for her to find herself in victory lane. One of the most exciting families when they win. Father Dave Campbell was down there, very happy, the owner of Watermark Electric. Just a great situation for her to pick up her first win of the season. Her second career in the Chaz Auto Body Sport Truck. She was a former winner in this division. I believe 2019, she picked up her first career win. But man, what an impressive run from her on Saturday night to jump out right from the drop of the green flag, and fantastic effort to get the checkered flag. She parks it for the first time this year. Barry Shaw Jr. came home in second. Mike Cavallero drove to another top 3 run in third spot. Fourth was Mike Duarte, the former champion, and fifth was Lenny Guy. New paint scheme for Lenny Guy over the last couple weeks. It's fast. It's working out well for him. In the number 77, Lenny Guy, fifth on the grid. Championship-wise, Barry Shaw leads by 38 points over Mike Cavallero with 2 weeks to go. That's 2 solid finishes, and Barry Shaw is most likely going to be your Chaz Auto Body Sport Truck champion in 2021. In the Everett's Auto Parts late models, first-time winner, ding, 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 Ryan Flood gets the job done in the number 98, the Jerry's General Maintenance entry, rocketing to the front from the pole position early, and he leads it from green to checker in a race that did not see a caution flag. The former Sportsman winner is back, and back in victory lane in the Division II Everett's Auto Parts late model class. Great to see first-time winners in any division, especially the competitive late models. Ryan Flood gets the job done. Bobby Tripp finished second. Great run for the Everett's Auto Parts driver in his return after a couple weeks away from the grid. Vinny Renegado finished third, your points leader in the late model division. Fourth was Chase Belcher behind the wheel of the Everett's Auto Parts 35. And Jacob Rowdy Burns round out the top 5 in the 30-lap Everett's Auto Parts late model main event. Congratulations to all those guys on a nice solid top 5 finish. Good race for them. No cautions, as I mentioned. In the championship battle, Renegado is in prime form. He leads by 42 points over Josh Hedges with 2 weeks to go. Again, same situation for Mr. Renegado. 2 solid finishes, and Vinny Renegado should finally seal his first late model title that he's been trying to seal for many, many years. But there's still 2 weeks to go. I do not want to jinx him. He's had a great year. We'll see how it plays out in the late models. We will chat with Ryan Flood here in a little bit after his first career win. Helger, South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman. Holy cannoli is what Kevin Boucher said. Probably the biggest wreck I've seen in Seekonk Speedway history that was not an enduro wreck. This was a real race wreck. A couple guys up front got tangled on the first lap coming off turn 2. They corrected in front of the field, and holy moly, we wrecked at least 15 sportsmen on the first lap. Really a sad situation, honestly. A lot of torn up equipment. But it does happen, and created for quite the video and quite the reaction and quite the photos, I can tell you that much. In the Sportsman, however, once the wreck was cleaned up, a great battle between the top 6 drivers. You had Corey Fanning, Chad Baxter, and Joe Kohler finish in the top 3. Another win for Corey Fanning in the Everett's Auto Parts number 11. Nice job by him to take down the checkered. Ed Perry was up there. Adam Petty was up there. Ryan Lineham was up there. The top 6 really put on a heck of a show. It was, granted, a little bit rough between the front drivers. A little bit of hot and heavy bouncing racing. But Corey Fanning comes out on top to take down the victory. In the point standings, Chad Baxter leads by 40 over Fanning. Fanning closed it up by 2, but he is going to need some help. 2 solid finishes for Baxter, and Chad Baxter will be a first-time Seekonk champion this year, likely in the Helgers Sportsman. And in the Pro Stocks, a very special race, the American Racer Pro Stock 75, $2,000 up for grabs for the feature winner of this one. we've had a tire shortage all year. You're well aware of it, I'm sure, race fans. We did not have any extra distance racing for much of the summer here. This is the first time we've really had an extra distance race since probably, I want to say, back in June due to the tire shortage. However, 75 laps in the book. Big thanks to the guys at American Racer. Bill Galloway and his team have really done a lot to help us out to get through the season tire-wise. And Dave Darling gets the job done. The Dynamite one and the Everett's Auto Parts. No, not the Everett's Auto Parts. The 52. He's not sponsored by Everett's. I messed that up. He's not sponsored by Everett's. Dave Darling gets the job done, though. Another big win for him in the Pro Stock division with 2 weeks to go. And in fact, there's only 1 week to go in the Pro Stock Championship race because the Pass Series is coming in for the DAV. That means the Pro Stock Championship battle will end this Saturday night, September 18th. Dave Darling, all he has to do is take the green, and he is going to clinch a record historic 8th championship. Very historic moment. We'll touch on that when it happens, but a very historic moment for Dave Darling. Ryan Kuhn was second in the race, Dylan Estrella, then Tom Scully Jr., and Ryan Lineham, the top 5. Lineham led a lot of the race early. Very impressive run in the number 10. He wishes it was a 40-lap race. Let me just put it that way, because he probably would have had his first win of the year. But 75 laps, $2,000. Dave Darling gets the job done for the feature win. I mentioned Ryan Kuhn finished second. Ryan Kuhn is going to join us here in a couple of segments. We'll check that out here in a bit. For now, we're going to take a quick break on the Race Day Rewind, and we'll catch up with first-time late model winner Ryan Flood around the turn. Stay with us. All right, welcome back from the break. Thanks for sticking with us around the turn here. We just recapped all the action as you heard from NASCAR Saturday. We're going to talk with two different guests here as part of the next two segments to recap NASCAR Saturday. One of them is a feature winner. He picked up his first career win in the Everett's Auto Parts late models last Saturday. Ryan Flood has joined us here on the hotline. Now, Ryan, before we get to picking up that first career win, which I know is an amazing moment in your career, a couple years ago, I think we talked about 4 years ago, on the same weekend, you won in the Sportsman. Then you took some time off shortly after that. I don't know if it was that year or the year after. Took some time off. Then you came back in the late models here recently. Talk me through why that time off, and did that kind of help you kind of reset your mind here to go late model racing?
Yeah, absolutely. 28, about halfway through 2018, wrecked the old car, and at that point, I just lost all the passion and drive for the sport. It's definitely not a sport you can only do it with half of that there. You need to be fully invested to really enjoy it and get out what you want to get out of the sport. And it just wasn't there anymore. I was tired of working on the car. I was tired of the weekly grind, and I just needed to take some time off and just kind of disappeared. Just went working and just kind of stayed away from it. And then once COVID came back around, I started racing motocross a little bit, and it just didn't scratch the itch. And wound up going to Waterford, helping out Jerry DeGasperi at the end of the Waterford season, and I got that itch back. And when I had the Sportsman, I always wanted the late models where I wanted to end up. I really like the ACT cars and the Tour, and just the versatility of how many tracks are on their rule book. It kind of lets you go out and explore different venues if you want to. And so opportunity came up for a car that I saw, and it was a pretty good piece, and just jumped on the opportunity to get back into it. And it's been amazing ever since I've been back, and just about how much more driven I am this time around than I was last time. It's about 10 times to 1.
Yeah, I mean, so that drive, obviously on Saturday night, and you've been fast here most of the year, consistent. You're up there in the points, chasing the Rookie of the Year in the late model division, and right now you're in good position to get that. But honestly, when I saw the starting lineup for Saturday night's race, 30 laps, Ryan Flood's on the pole for this race, and right through my mind, literally in the pit area when I saw the lineup, this could be the night that Ryan finally parks it in victory lane. I don't know if finally is the right word, because you haven't run a ton of late model races, but again, you've been strong. Talk me through Saturday night, and especially the late laps. Bobby Tripp close at the end. Just talk me through what that was like, hanging on and ending up with the checkered flag and the emotion of winning.
Yeah, we had a really strong car all pretty much most of the year. We struggled towards the end of August there, and over the off week before the Saturday, we brought the car back up to Fort City, and had Shane and Mickey go through it and pretty much just start testing for next year and try to get a jump start on next year and figure out why we weren't having the results we wanted in August. And came off the trailer and came off really strong and throughout practice, and we kept improving every round of practice and put the race set of tires on for the heat and wound up winning the heat. And at that point, I knew we had a pretty strong piece. Depending on, you had Chase Belcher, Jerry, Vinny, they've all been on really fast week in and week out. So I knew and they were starting further back in the pack. So I knew if it went green to checkered, we definitely had a shot of it. And especially it helps having the guys that have just been blowing everybody away here the last few weeks, starting further back, and took the green for the feature and just never looked back. And then about 5 to go, my spotter, Colby Fournier, I got to thank him for spotting me all year long. He started telling me, start protecting the bottom. He's coming. And we loosened up pretty bad with the last 5 laps. It started losing some drive off the corner, but was able to hang it on and finally get that win.
So, I mean, you talk about losing the drive a couple years ago, and I think this is a really cool story with you kind of gaining that drive back and coming back here. This is obviously the top moment in your racing career. And we're a couple days after it now. We're getting ready for the final 2 races of the year. But does this kind of accomplish what you wanted to accomplish here as you come back? This is kind of for me, the pinnacle of racing at Seekonk. I mean, Sportsman wins fantastic. Obviously, you want to get to the pro stocks and win there in your career at some point, too, to kind of solidify yourself. But winning in this competitive late model division has got to be almost everything you imagine here over the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I bought the car and decided to get back into it, I didn't even know if I was going to be running a full season. We just planned part-time and maybe venture out here and there and just have fun with it, run a handful of races. And then the beginning of the season came around and we fired off real strong. And we were leading, by the end of May, we were leading the Rookie of the Year in points and just kind of kept digging from there. And I would never have expected to win in my rookie year. I honestly didn't think it was something that was going to happen. I'm thankful that it did. Once we focused on we're going to run a full year, our vision kind of changed towards trying to get the Rookie of the Year, even more than a win. So to pick up the win while also competing for the Rookie of the Year it's awesome. It's still kind of settling in with me, but it's great. It's more than I could ever imagine to happen this year.
Yeah, obviously a really cool moment for you, your entire team. Speaking of the team, before we let you go here, why don't you give a shout out to the guys that have been helping you and making all this possible for you to come out here and get the job done?
Yep. First of all, I got to thank my father. He stepped up huge this year. He helped us back. He helped me out when we had the Sportsman as well, but he's not always been a huge car guy, and he's learned a lot this year so far and stepped up huge with learning more and being a lot more hands-on. I got to thank Jerry D and his crew, Skeeter, Nikki, Frank, Bobby, Danny. They help me week in and week out at the track or even in the shop if I need an extra hand. They're just a great group of guys to be friends with, and I'm thankful that they're my racing family. I got to thank Colby Fournier for spotting me all year long. He's been great on the radio, and we're meshing together real well. And I got to thank Shane and Mickey up at Port City Race Cars. And, of course, I got to thank my sponsors with Tasha Energy, Buckler's Towing, Tedino and Daughter Equipment, Jerry's General Maintenance, and Dairy Queen of South Yarmouth.
Oh, Ryan Flood's got quite the list of supporters behind him, and he picks up his first career win in the Everett's Auto Parts late models. He's got 2 races to go. The task is going to get a little bit tougher this week as he's got to start towards the rear in the 50-lap special. Ryan, thanks for a few minutes. Appreciate it. Congratulations again, and you never know here. Maybe we'll talk to you again in a couple weeks after another win.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, that's been Ryan Flood. Take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to welcome in the Everett's Auto Parts driver, the number 72 Pro Stock, Ryan Kuhn. Stick with us. All right, welcome back from the break here in the Race Day Rewind, our final guest of this edition of the show. We just chatted with Ryan Flood, first-time winner in the Everett's Auto Parts late models. We will now chat with Ryan Kuhn, second-place finisher in the Pro Stocks. he does not have that Pro Stock win this year that I know he desperately wants. We'll chat with him about that in a second. But first, second place in the American Racer Pro Stock 75. The heck with waiting. What's going on here? Second place, second place, second place. What do you need to do to beat Dave Darling this week? Let's cut to the chase.
Heck, I don't know. I mean, on the iRacing ways, we call it gripbacks.exe. So, but
he's figured it out, obviously.
Yeah, but just missing a little bit in the setup. They've been doing this a lot longer than we have, and obviously they've been there for many years, and they've been right on top of it once the new no bump stop package came out. So they're doing a really good job. We just gotta play catch up, and going into this week, we're gonna really try some stuff to see if we can figure out the car for next year. Most likely we'll be back part time next year, and see if we can go out and beat him a few times. So
well, so you came in this year planning to run part time, and this kind of evolved into a full time deal with Everett's Auto Parts here. Obviously, they've been great supporters of your racing career to get you where you are now. But overall, we can't say that this has been a bad year, right? I mean, this has been pretty incredible what you've been able to put together here this year in the Pro Stocks, and finishing in the front this many times. I know you want to win, but this overall, you're going to be really happy with how the year's gone.
Yeah, the second half of this year really went good. The first half didn't really start. Honestly, the beginning of the year just sucked, flat out sucked, and blown motors, bad fuel cells, and broken shocks, and about everything you could ever think of went wrong the start of this year. And we really turned it around with a bunch of good runs, a bunch of top fives, basically everywhere we went. Finished third at Seekonk in the Bay State. That was a huge confidence booster. And finishing second a lot of Seekonk, I know we want to win that bad, but I mean, honestly, with what the beginning of the year was given, it's been a pretty good year.
Yeah, so I mean, second place in the points here is pretty much sealed up. You're going to be able to seal that up just by starting this week. Obviously, we mentioned Dave Darwin's going to be the champion. So second ain't too shabby for you in the Pro Stocks. I know you've run some other races this year, a bit of touring as well. But the other thing that's been big for you this year is the Alan Kowicki development program. You've been part of that. We've been seeing on Facebook, you've been doing a lot of charity stuff, giving to others. And I know, you've kind of really enjoyed that here. So just talk to us about what that experience has been like to be in the Kowicki program and be able to do all this as well outside of the racing.
Yeah, it's a lot about giving back to the community. And, I've been working with the Meals on Wheels Association from Bridgewater. And, I actually have a schedule plan for the month of October to deliver meals to the elderly every Friday. And it's a pretty cool deal. We've been doing some food bank stuff, a lot of involved with food, put it that way. And we got a lot of dog treats for a dog shelter up in New Hampshire as well. And it's all about giving back, and it feels really good to give back. So a lot of interaction, and it's really good. So, and on top of that, it's it really helps. It really helps everything, really.
Yeah, no, it's been a great year for you and doing some really cool things off the track as well. That's why we wanted to catch up with you here in the podcast. Hey, I know there's some people that are behind this racing effort, so why don't you give them a shout out before we let you go, the people that kind of make it possible for Ryan Kuhn.
Yeah, absolutely. Roy and Bob from Everett's, they're working hard with us. They've been through everything throughout my basically my whole full body stock car career. And they've been unbelievable to me. Huge help, definitely a career changer. And Bernier's Liquors out of Bridgewater, I can't thank them enough. They do a lot for me as well. Modern Auto Body, RKM Setup Shop, Coastal Heritage Bank, Bill's Tire Barn, Kowicki Driver Development Program. Everyone who's been behind me, helping me out, get through my whole career. And hopefully there's some big things to come next year. I can't really say anything now, but big things to come next year.
Oh, a little bit of a teaser in there from Ryan here. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. And never know. Maybe we'll chat with you again here before the season's out.
Absolutely. No problem.
All right. That's been Ryan Kuhn. We're going to take a quick break and then come back, and we're going to preview what's coming up here in the second to last points season weekend here of the year. Stick with us. All right, welcome back to the show. Our final segment here of this week's edition of the Race Day Rewind. Big thanks to Ryan Kuhn and Ryan Flood for catching up with us here on the podcast this week. Looking forward to next week's guest, which I'm sure we will have sealed up early next week. Only a couple more podcasts left in the Race Day Rewind series. As our season is winding down, we'll have some other podcasts over the winter. But as far as the rewind of races, we're only going to have probably one more, because that's maybe two more probably, as part of our Race Day Rewind. So looking forward to those. But before we get to the podcast, we must complete the nights of racing. First up, this coming Friday night, not go to Saturday yet, Friday night, September 17th, Fast Friday is back on hand. 2 weeks to go in their Fast Friday Championship battles. You'll have the Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits and Outlaws, Everett's Auto Parts Sport 4s, Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman, and, oh boy, I messed that up, didn't I? That's a Saturday division. Friday night racing, September 17th. Seekonk Grand Prix Bandolero Bandits and Outlaws, Helger South Coast Power Equipment Pure Stocks, Everett's Auto Parts Sport 4s, and the next Pit Stop Legends will join us on that night. And then wrapping the weekend will be NASCAR Saturday, a very, 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 very busy night. First, we'll have the Troy City Tactical Spectator Drags at 5:30. New start time this week, 5:30 for the Spectator Drags. At 6 o'clock, we'll roll out the Senior Tar Auto Racers for a look back in time. The Star Series is here with the Antique Division. Late models are going 50 laps this week. First extra distance race for them. The Everett's Auto Parts Diamond Dash is coming up. First one since probably June. 50 circuits for the late models. The Pro Stocks will crown their champion. Dave Darling is going to be the champion. 40 laps for them, their final points race of the year. And then you've got the Helger South Coast Power Equipment Sportsman and the Chaz Auto Body Sport Trucks also going to be in action coming up on NASCAR Saturday. So stick with us for that. Following weekend, DAV weekend, Friday, September 24th. Saturday, September 25th. We'll have the Pumpkin Smash in October, and then the Haunted 100 will be coming up at the end of October with the Pass and Act Series and the Tri-Track Modified return. A lot of action still to go, but a lot in the books here in 2021. Want to thank again our guests, Ryan Flood Ryan Kuhn. Thanks Ed St. Germain behind the curtain here, pushing all the buttons to put all this together. My name is Kyle Souza, the owner of Souza Media. Thanks for joining us on the Race Day Rewind podcast. This edition coming from September 10th and 11th, 2021. We look forward to chatting with you all again next week. See you.